when it comes down to it, it's perfectly valid for people to cut you off based off of your beliefs, because that is part of your judgment. That is whether or not people can trust you. That is whether or not you have integrity. It's part of the reason why people don't talk about politics. It's because it shows who you really are behind closed doors.
Across the country, friendships are dissolving as political tensions reach a breaking point. Today, you'll hear real stories from people explaining why they've chosen to distance themselves from their Trump voting, MAGA-aligned friends. Listen closely. These voices reveal the emotional strain behind a growing divide.
We're not divided because of different opinions. We're divided because some people believe that other lives are worth less than theirs. That's not politics. That's morality, dude.
I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I'm unfriending this time around. Last time, I let you have a little pass. Okay, I thought, okay, maybe they just don't know that much, back then. But now, I'm tired of you. I've been going to their page, hitting the unfriend button, and I feel at peace. I don't want anybody watching shit that I do in my life, watching my kids, watching where we're going, that had anything to do with that man.
I just found out one of my best friends, who I've known since high school, voted for Trump. And all I gotta say is thanks for showing your true colors. Thanks for showing me who you really are. Because for the past 15 years, I thought you were a friend. But now I know you're not.
So I just have a quick question for people who have cut off friends or family members because of their support of Donald Trump and his politics. What was your last straw? What was the thing that broke the camel's back that made you not talk to them anymore?
I texted my best friend of 14 years. Literally half of my life. I'm 28. And I asked them who they voted for. They said Donald Trump. And they said, I'm assuming you voted the opposite. And I said, yes. And then my friend texted me and said, will you still be my friend? Half of my life, this person is my best friend.
So my old Trump supporter friend, who I cut off after the election, decided to give me a call and confess to me that he fucked up voting for Donald Trump. So he called me like, yeah, you was right, man. You was right. All this shit that's going on, I don't like what's going on. I just really wanted overtime. That's what he telling me. I just really wanted no tax on overtime because I do a lot of overtime. And he was just explaining about all the shit he don't like and what he doing, the Epstein files and all that. So I tell him this, man. I say all this shit that's going on with the American people, the ICE, deportations, the cuts to Medicaid, the taking away people's rights, evading cities like he's some dictator, all that's happening because you voted for that. You voted for that. I practically begged him, y'all. I begged him not to vote for Donald Trump. But he was so much ready to get no tax on overtime that he was willing to look past everything that's around his own community. So he calling me like we cool again or something. But I had to tell him the truth. I do not mess with black Trump supporters at all. Never again in my life. If I find out you voted for Trump, I will never be around you in my life. That's just how it's going to be for the rest of my life. Black Trump supporters are the scariest, untrustworthy people in the black community.
I want to make this abundantly clear. If you voted for Trump, do not ever speak to me ever again. You actively voting against my rights and against the rights of my loved ones, you are not my friend and you are not my family. Do not speak to me ever again. I am so sick and tired of people posting today, friendships and families shouldn't be torn apart over politics. this is not about politics anymore. This is about human rights, women's rights, LGBT rights, even interracial rights. I'm scared that my interracial marriage is going to be annulled. That is something I'm afraid of. I have gay friends that are married and they're afraid that their marriages are going to be annulled. And I have gay friends that were supposed to be getting married here pretty soon, and now they're scared that they're not going to be able to anymore. So if you voted for that orange dictator, once again, stay the hell away from me. Stay the hell away from my family. I don't know you and you don't know me anymore.
Because this is not the difference between liking two different football teams. This is the difference between life and death for some. This is the difference between tearing families apart. This is the difference between aligning yourself with white supremacists.
Hey everyone. So I'm just here to help anyone out who doesn't understand why how you voted in the election is strictly a difference of opinion that we can all just go on with. So a difference of opinion is you like coffee and I like tea. Maybe you can't stand tea. I know I don't like coffee, but that's okay. Like, drink your coffee. I'm totally cool with it. And you're totally cool with me drinking tea. I'm not forcing it on you. When you vote to outlaw tea and punish tea drinkers, that's no longer opinion. You've acted on that opinion to put yourself above tea drinkers. And now, because I'm a tea drinker, my life's in danger. Because I could be punished just for liking tea. So that's not a difference of opinion. You've made an action. You've made an action that's endangered my life and the lives of so many other people. So it's not a difference of opinion. You've made an action. And the consequence is that there's some people who are not going to be friends with you anymore. And there's some people who aren't going to have a relationship with you anymore. And the reason for that is because we don't trust you.
I've been unfriending people on social media right and left after finding out they're Trump supporters. And I know that sounds harsh. I know you shouldn't lose friends over politics. But the truth is, this election is about more than just politics to me. It's a question of my ability to survive in this country with dignity as a human being.
Are some of your MAGA friends and family trying to come back in your life? Because that's happening to me. It's happening to me. So I just received a message from one of my friends that I had to unfriend back in October. Because every time I would post something, he would write the most craziest shit on my post. And you could tell that he went down that red pill pipeline. Anyway, I haven't spoken to him since October. And all of a sudden, I get a message from him. Now, I don't know if he has Trump or regret. However, let's read the message together. I think it's kind of telling. Now, he said, I understand why you blocked me, but it's because you were a crazed Camilla fangirl. First of all, it's not Camilla. It's Kamala. Kamala. Then he said, not regretting wanting Trump to succeed. What does that mean? Not regretting wanting Trump to succeed. Don't like what's happening in Palestine, but we both know what's going on with that. Let me know if I am more balanced in my politics, and maybe I'll accept you back in my circle. Now, I blocked you. I blocked you. And now you're saying that maybe you'll accept me? Oh, hell no. And this is my answer. You voted for Trump and you still act like you have no regrets, because I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to make any assumption that he regrets now. Meanwhile, this country is becoming a dictatorship. There is no room for conversation. Punto.
You may think it's childish, immature, and petty to cut people off who voted for this administration, and that's A-OK. Whether you are friends, family, coworkers, acquaintance, whether you're in a friendship, relationship, whatever the fuck ship, if you support this administration in any way, bye-bye. We're done. We're done with the sheer stupidity that you guys breathe and ooze on a daily goddamn basis. The fact that you guys cannot open up a goddamn book, read between the lines, and tell when this administration is lying to you, whether you're a supporter or a non-supporter. Bye. Fucking bye.
This has just been on my mind so heavy. So heavy. who a part of your family or a part of your circle is a Trump supporter or doesn't too much not hate him, if that makes sense. Like, they see no issue with him. There is no problem with him. He's a great businessman. Does anybody get that from relatives or friends or people who share that opinion? Please come to the front because I want to talk. I have a chat. I want to... Please. Thanks.
From years of quiet disagreements to explosive turning points, many describe how political clashes have reshaped trust, communication, and the sense of safety within their friendships. Their stories shine a light on how complicated and painful these decisions can be.
I had quite a few people asking for a story time on my old best friend that I dropped because she was a Trumpy, and a lot of people were slandering me for it. So let me just tell y'all kind of what happened. And let me just start by saying I'm not at all sorry for dropping her. This is not me trying to justify me dropping her. I am fully comfortable with my decision. I don't feel bad at all. And I just want y'all to picture this from a standpoint of her not even being my friend, her not owing me any loyalty. Just think of this. I was telling her about how my mom and I and our family might lose the place that we're living in because we can't afford it. Meaning we'd be homeless, yeah. Yeah, meaning we'd be homeless. She was my best friend at the time. So obviously I was addressing my concerns with her because, you know, I was expecting not to be judged because for 5 years up until this point, we've never judged each other for our political standpoints. Then when I start telling her this story about my mom and my situation, this is crazy. She goes, whatever. It's only going to be bad for a little bit. She also says, I don't know why you're so mad about Trump's policies. They're not going to personally affect you. What? What? So what I'm hearing from this is if it doesn't affect you, you don't care. What I'm hearing from this is despite our relationship at the moment, despite us being friends, you are looking at a disabled person with cancer who has children who is about to lose their house, and you're saying whatever. At that point, you're done. You're done.
You see, I can respect different political views. I can respect difference in policy. I can respect Republican presidents or the Republican Party, but that man does not embody any Republican values, conservative values. And if you come and sit here and try to tell me that is for the economy, baby, that means that your values can be bought and mine cannot.
So I need some advice. So one of my best friends, we've been best friends for like 8 years. Every time she hangs out with a certain person, like she becomes like a big Trumpy. I mean, she already is. And when she does hang out with this person, she like posts like stuff and like her Trump hat and everything. And it really makes me very uncomfortable, but it's like, I love her as a person and it's so hard. I don't know, y'all. Like, part of me wants to cut her off because, like, she doesn't really benefit my life at all. But it's like, she also is an amazing friend. But, like, when I see pictures of her and, like, her MAGA hat makes me so uncomfortable. Like, what do you guys think I should do? Please let me know.
How could somebody possibly sever a tie with a family member or a friend over who they voted for? And this question, I guess, keeps getting asked by people who have been cut off by family members or cut off by friends, and they don't understand it. And they seem to think that it's a very trivial thing, and it really isn't. I mean, it is simple. It is a question of, it's not a question of I like vanilla versus you like chocolate. It is a question of morality. You voted for somebody who is going out of their way to take rights away from people.
You should cut off your friends and family if they're hateful pieces of shit. Fuck them. They don't deserve you. They have no right to you. The reason these people like the MAGA movement is because they like being hateful and they like feeling like the bully. It doesn't make their lives better. Being a part of the MAGA movement does not materially improve their situation. It doesn't bring more food onto the table. It doesn't lower the cost of their car repair bill. It worsens their lives in many ways. They lose contact with friends and family, but they're energized by the cult and by hatred. You simply have to make the outward pressure greater than the desire on their end to continue being that thing. They need to be shamed out of it. So if you constantly capitulate and build bridges and reach out to these people, you're doing the exact opposite.
I'm going to put something into perspective for MAGA Republicans, so I'm going to need you to listen up, okay? This is for the MAGA Republicans who think it's ridiculous or sensitive that people are unfollowing people and blocking people and cutting off communication with people when they find out they voted for Donald Trump, okay? Here is the equivalent. Let's say Kamala Harris ran her campaign on many hateful things, but one of the most number one hateful things is that she wanted to ban Christianity. And even if she couldn't get a federal ban on it, she was very much against it as a candidate. She thought that the Bibles should be a banned book, and she rallied against people who burned Bibles and ripped them down and openly mocked Jesus. Like, that's what she loved and supported as a main goal of her campaign. Would you feel safe around me or like me as a person if you were a Christian and I voted for that woman and I was proud of that? And then I came to you and I said, well, you know, I can still be friends with you. I just don't like your beliefs. Then you would turn to me and say, you're actively voting for somebody who's trying to take away my right to believe in those things. See, it's all about a perspective, but MAGA Republicans just won't even put themselves in anybody else's shoes. The main difference between Democrats and Republicans in today's day and age is that Democrats want the freedom to do what they want, and Republicans want to take away that freedom from the Democrats. You don't have to get an abortion. You don't have to have same-sex marriage in your personal life. You don't even have to be friends with gay people. You don't have to associate with a single transgender person in your entire life. And I guarantee a lot of you MAGA Republicans actually have never met one. You can give to your church without your church having to give taxes to the big evil federal government that then supports things that you don't believe in. You can give that money freely. You don't have to do any of the things that you don't want to do. You can homeschool your kids, put them in private school. You don't have to put them in public school. You don't have to teach them about evolution. You can teach them the creation story and that dinosaurs are fake until they're blue in the fucking face. But you are actively trying to take away my right to participate and do all of those things.
Would you throw away years of friendship because you found out your friend was a Trump supporter? So one of my friends, who's indigenous, found out that one of her friends is a Trump supporter. They've been friends about 6 or 7 years, and it just never came up in conversation. I think it could be because they might have just assumed the other one had the same belief system, you know, and it just didn't come up. Well, it came up today. So my friend said something about being upset about how Trump's administration wants to basically rewrite history and get rid of things in the African American community, in the indigenous Native community, the Mexican American community, just all of it. And then the other person went in. So my friend feels completely betrayed. She's like, how could you possibly? So she's confused. She's like, how could I have a friend who feels this way about people who look like me? So that is what she's going through. So what would you do?
So today I basically cut ties with someone who was a more than an acquaintance. You know, we've hung out with him outside of the situation where we normally see him a couple times a week. I hadn't realized until recently that I've had this person blocked on Facebook for years. Because I looked for him on Facebook a while back to try to send him a friend request and I could never find him. And then I finally looked at my blocked list recently. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it kind of all came back to me, how I knew him previous to our current situation. Well, I unblocked him to maybe give him the benefit of the doubt, but he has not changed. He is still just mega trash, basically, which is hilarious because he's married to a minority and, you know, basically voted against all of their rights and their child's rights and all of that. But the opportunity finally presented itself where he called me out for something on a local Facebook group and I just kind of let it go. And he's like, well, I'm still going to be nice to you because I like you. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not. I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. I don't like, you know, how you think it's okay to treat people based on, you know, their color, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, their immigration status, you know, whatever. It kills me. But I guess, you know, now we move on and it's fine, but it is really hard to kind of give up a friendship sometimes. But, you know, your integrity matters far more and we'll be better off. We'll be better off without him in our life.
For people crying about why anti-Trump people are cutting Trump people off, saying like, you're what's wrong with the world, it's like, no, that's not factual at all. As a matter of fact, since you were a child, doesn't matter what religion or what part of the world you grew up in, there's one thing that's been taught. It's like a universal lesson, is not to be a bully. The fact that you have to defend why it is that you support Trump, who is a bully, just goes to show that that is not a good person, and you're supporting not a good person. When it comes down to it, it's perfectly valid for people to cut you off based off of your beliefs, because that is part of your judgment. That is whether or not people can trust you. That is whether or not you have integrity. It's part of the reason why people don't talk about politics. It's because it shows who you really are behind closed doors. It's a test of whether you would do the right thing or not. Like right now, if you're on the side of people protesting warming centers in Utah, like, you're in the wrong. You are in the wrong. People who do not want basic needs met for other people just because of whatever personal reason for you, that's ridiculous. You're not a good person if you find joy in other people's struggles. There is this saying, it says, they want you to do good but not better than them. And some of those people that are struggling do not like to see other people not struggling. So if you have like some type of food insecurity and you don't qualify for benefits, you're not going to be happy that somebody else is able to get benefits and get food. But that has nothing to do with them. Those people deserve to eat. Doesn't matter what the heck they're buying with it. When it comes down to it, everybody should be able to have food. That does include you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you don't qualify or you can't like make ends meet or whatever, doesn't mean that other people shouldn't. That's very, very selfish. A big part of relationships and friendships is trust. And if you lack integrity, it makes it hard for people to trust you because your judgment is off. The fact that you can't see two, like one wrong, one right, and you can't be like, oh, I don't know which one's right, which one's wrong. It's like, you do know, and you should know. And if you don't, then your judgment is very questionable. So therefore, you are questionable. You are not trustworthy. You do not have the integrity that is required to have relationships with certain types of people. So therefore, no, if just because you're not able to decipher things like that, like good from bad or right from wrong, doesn't mean that someone who shouldn't be able to make the decision not to be your friend. Because when it comes down to it, it's just like, yes, they have every right to. People have every right to cut people off that are not trustworthy and lack integrity.
The experiences shared today reveal just how deeply political division can affect our closest relationships. These stories show that when values shift or collide, friendships can be tested in ways few ever expected. Whether you agree or disagree with their choices, understanding the emotional impact behind these decisions helps us better grasp the reality of what many people are facing. If this video opened your eyes to the human side of these divides, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to keep the conversation going. And click the video on your screen to explore more stories shaping relationships across America today.